Hello everybody, it's Mike here at Game From Scratch. And first off, I gotta apologize. I'm gonna sound a little weird today. I am sick right now, hopefully back to my normal voice soon. But anyways, we have another humble bundle of interest to game developers. Now, if you know already in this channel, I cover all of the game development related bundles. I buy them, let you know what's in them, and let them know if they're worth picking up. And this one is kind of a no-brainer. It is a huge collection of books on a number of game development topics. Basically, if it boils down that one book is of interest to you, the entire bundle is worth picking up. Now, this one is a collection of books by APress, the publisher. Oddly enough, though, it's called Developing Your Own Games by Springer, so I'm assuming Springer owns APress, because every single book in this collection is an APress book. The way bundles work is a collection of stuff, in this case ebooks around a common theme, in this case game development. You can decide how your money is allocated between the publisher, between Humble, between charity, and if you so choose, and thanks if you do, to support Game From Scratch. Now this one goes, you buy a tier, you get all of the tiers below it, and let's take a look at the first tier. So for a single dollar, you can get Java game development with LibGDX, beginning Swift game development for iOS, learn Unity for Android game development, practical video game bots, developing games on the Raspberry Pi, developing turn-based multiplayer games, and Python Pygame and Raspberry Pi game development 2nd edition. So you got a pretty good selection of technologies being covered here. There's a bit more detail when you jump into the description. So for example, this one is using SceneKit and SpriteKit. This one is using C++, Python, and I don't know what that last thing is. This one is using Lua and Love. This one is using GameMaker Studio 2 and Node.js. And this one, of course, is using Python and Pygame. So at the $1 tier, there is Java books, C++ books, Swift books, Lua books, GameMaker Studio books. There's some pretty solid stuff here. Now, when we jump up to the $8 tier, so of course, if you buy the $8 tier, you also get the $1 tier books, and that continues on. Here we get mostly codeless game development. You get Learn Unity for Windows 10 game development, the Advanced Game Developers Toolkit for amazing web-based games with JavaScript and HTML5, Pro Java 9 game development using Java FX APIs, the Build Games with Ethereum Smart Contracts, Essential TypeScript from Beginner to Pro, Practical GameMaker Studio language projects, and physically based shader development for Unity 2017. And then when we get to the final tier, the $15 tier, which of course gets you everything in this collection, you get developing 2D games with Unity, program arcade games with Python and Pygame, beginning Android games for Android 7. That's a little bit old. But actually, the interesting thing here is the developer of this one, Mario Zechner, that is actually the guy who wrote LibGDX. So, yeah, there is that. Let's build a multiplayer phaser game with TypeScript, Socket.io, and Phaser. Beginning iOS AR game development. We've got game development with Construct 2, understanding game application development with Xamarin Forms and ASP.NET. Okay. Pro HTML5 games with HTML5 and JavaScript, and introduction to JavaScript game development, build a 2D game from the ground up. GameMaker Studio 100 programming challenges. So there's your whole big collection here. There's a lot of 2D in this actual collection, and we've covered many game engines. So we've got, let's see, libgdx, Swift, Python Pygame, yeah, so we move on. Codeless ones, that would probably be your Construct, gdevelop, those kind of games. Learn Unity, Java 9, Java FX, GameMaker Studio is in here. Lua, again, was in there. A couple of Python and Pygame books in there. Huge collection going on in this actual collection. Then again, we've got game development with Construct 2, and then we have GameMaker Studio covered as well. So pretty much every major 2D game engine that has books for it is covered in this particular collection. Now, if you're coming at it for a 3D world, 3D look of books, you're probably not going to find too much in this collection. There's the bots one, AR development, but most of this stuff is focused around 2D and such kind of game development. So as I mentioned earlier on, I buy these kits all the time and show you what you get. And there's some interesting things here. There's actually not, a lot of times it's all 3 formats. In this particular case, some books are actually only PDF and EPUB. So the Java game development, for example, is just those 2 formats, whereas beginning Swift also includes Moby. But otherwise, EPUB and PDF, EPUB, PDF, EPUB, and PDF for almost all of these cases. However, this last one here, program arcade games with Python and Pygame. This one also includes the Moby. Pro HTML5 games includes the Moby as well. And then interestingly, some of these are tagged as being Springer, whereas some of them are APress. So if you actually know the answer of why some are Springer, why some are APress, is it an acquisition and a rename? I'm actually kind of curious why they're split, because every single cover, you'll see Springer there, but you'll see bottom corner, it's APress. So I'm not really sure what's going on there, but it is interesting nonetheless. So that is the book. If you are a avid Moby supporter, this one could be a little bit disappointing to you. Now, there are tools out there, obviously, like Calibre, that you can use to turn an EPUB into a Moby file, or you can just read PDF on just about every device under the sun, even though Kindle PDF reading is not fun. All right. Now, if you're curious, if you head on over to Amazon, we're picking one of the books pretty much at random. So developing 2D games with Unity, that was in the third tier, this book right here, as just a direct example to look at it on Unity. It's $30 for the Kindle version, or basically 30, that's really weird. $30 for the paperback version or $30 for the digital version, versus, you know, again, $15 for every book in this library. So really, it does make a lot of sense. If there's a single book in there, there's value in the entire thing, especially if that single book is in the $1 tier. It's a huge value. You just got to pay $1 and you get, what's that? 3, 6, 7 books for $1. So if you want to add to your library, another thing that's nice about that is the store, this thing here where you can go ahead and download these books like so. This is available forever, so you don't need to store them on your own computer. You can, once you've purchased something from Humble, you can go back and download it at any particular time you want. So that is it. That is the Humble, what is the actual name here? Developing Your Own Games by Springer bundle. A collection of, again, mostly 2D books for a huge number of game engines and technologies being covered. I'm interested in hearing what you think of APress in general. If you can tell me what the heck is going on with that Springer versus APress thing. Do you have any of these books, and would you recommend them or not recommend them? Let me know those things in the comments down below. And which engines are you actually interested in this collection? Like, again, if you are a 2D game developer, there's got to be something for you here. All right, that's it. I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.